Hi folks. So, um, again, I've been thinking about what to talk about today, and an idea came from seeing something on somebody else's timeline, and he asked a question: what is the one thing what thing should we all experience in life? And he suggested we should all experience being homeless for a week. And obviously, some of you know that I have. And I agree with him. If you've been homeless, not only will it raise awareness of people who are homeless, but it'll give you an insight into the life of somebody who ends up on the streets. Now, I was homeless as a child, as a child runaway. I was being beaten up regularly at home, and not just slapped, but serious beatings. And I used to run away from home. And that occurred over the ages of 13, 14 and 15. And I was eventually taken into care and put into foster care, and I'd run away again from that because I wasn't happy, etc. But going back to life on the streets, as a young teenager, it was terrifying. And I've seen a charity doing a night out on the 31st of November, I think it is, in Birmingham city centre in the UK. And you get your cardboard provided, you'll get food provided, and there's actually security in the area that they're going to do it in. Now, that's all very well and good to raise awareness of how cold it is, but it really doesn't come close to an experience of being homeless. Just the night time alone of it's dark early, so the temperature drops. You need to find somewhere that you're going to bed down that is relatively or as quiet as you can get it, because the biggest thing that I found being a young lad was fear. The fear, absolute terror of getting a kicking. And it's not from the other homeless people, although the fights do occur. It's from people who are drunk, people who don't give a shit, people who think you're absolutely worthless. And that fear, that is the worst thing of all. That is that gut-wrenching fear. So you've got to find somewhere before it gets dark. You've got to hope that you've found somewhere that is quiet and peaceful. You've got to make sure that you're going to be warm enough, so you've got cardboard or proper clothes or whatever. You need somewhere that you can go to the toilet. You need food. You're always hungry. Water. And then if you do manage to get to sleep, you constantly got one eye open or half of your brain not really asleep because of the fear. And I would go for I think the longest I was on the streets for was a couple of weeks, before being found by the police and taken back home, etc. if everybody had one night in a real situation, not in a made up situation where you're guarded, in a real situation, that would open eyes. Then you've got the daytime to get through. You've got to hope that your stuff doesn't get nicked. You've got to go and find somewhere to wash and go to the toilet and find some food to eat. And do you beg? Do you steal? Personally, I stole. I went into shops or onto the marketplaces, fruit markets, etc., and I stole what food I could get. And then, what do you do with yourself all day? If you sit still all day, the cold gets into you. So you can't hang around in shopping centres, they kick you out. And you just wander. That's all I did. Wandered around all day, every day, wondering, how am I going to get out of this situation? How has my life ended up in such a horrible place? And as I put on Neil's timeline in response to his question about something that people should experience, it's the kind of thing that will either make you or break you. I believe it made me. It made me a strong, determined person to not let things hold me back. If I could survive that, I could survive anything. And I used to say, when I was getting beatings from my stepdad, if I can survive a punch from him, or a beating from him, or the belt from him, or the stick, or the whip, or whatever I was getting, then some lad the same age as me on the playground, you've got no chance, mate. So that was my outlook. If I can deal with that, I can deal with anything. And I think what I'm trying to say is that once you've experienced the worst in life, when you can't get any lower than being in the gutter and looking at the stars, then once you've been there, really been there, then you can start to make changes in your life, that you're not going to settle for second best, that you are going to be successful in whatever sphere of life that is. You may decide you are going to be successful in business or successful in love or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Whatever drives you, once you've been at the bottom, something pushes you forward. And that, for me, is a determination to prove that what I went through as a child was wrong and I wasn't disposable. And a lot of people who are on the streets today feel that they are disposable. People don't care. Now, if I see somebody on the streets, I don't tend to give them money. What I will do is go and buy them some food, because I don't want them spending the money getting drunk or getting some more drugs or whatever, and I understand why they do. But food and water, food and a bottle of water is the best thing that you can do for these people. One thing that my wife and I do every year is put together shoe boxes and put in items that they might find useful. So an old pair of gloves, some warm socks, small toothpaste that we get in hotels or something. You know, just go around Poundland. For women, what you can't put in, you do two different boxes, one for men, one for women. Is you can't put tampons in because they've no place to change them, and they can end up getting toxicity issues with it. So you're better with sanitary towels for women. But just doing something like that and giving a shoebox to somebody as a Christmas present, you wouldn't believe the satisfaction that you can get from that. and they will love you forever for it. You know, you will always be in their thoughts, and you know, doing nice things like that is a great feeling. And it's just something small, might cost you a few quid to fill a shoebox up, but to that homeless person it means everything. So the message of today is always have hope. Always believe that there's something better than where you are now. If you want it, you've got to go and get it and work for it. But if you've survived being in the gutter, then you can survive anything. Alright folks, over and out. See you tomorrow.